Coming up on AgweekTV, we're here in Baltic, South Dakota for one of the largest one-day field days in the country.
On the Soil Health Minute, learn more about earthworms in a healthy soil.
We're visiting with two ag scientists who are making North Dakota their homes, personally and professionally.
Welcome to AgweekTV. I'm Rose Dunn. Every year at this time, the tiny town of Baltic, South Dakota turns into Ag City. Farmers from across the U.S. and around the world attend the Ag PhD Field Day every year. It features research plots and demos, educational sessions, and top yield winners. Our Michelle Rook is there and is bringing us lots of news from the event, but she begins with this week's top story. Michelle, this news really has everyone talking.
Rose, this week USDA announced a $12 billion trade compensation package to make up for market losses due to the trade war. As part of the program, farmers will get direct assistance under the Commodity Credit Corporation. They'll receive incremental payments for soybean, sorghum, corn, wheat, cotton, dairy, and hogs. USDA will also purchase and distribute surplus affected commodities. And the CCC will implement a trade promotion program with the private sector to develop new export markets. Yet farmers say they want an end to tariffs instead of aid.
I'm assuming they just think it's like a Band-Aid to tide things over, but to get that, keep those markets, that's what's important. Long term is where it's at.
The Farm Service Agency will administer the emergency aid, which is expected to go into effect by Labor Day. Meanwhile, this week the president tweeted, "Tariffs are the greatest." Trade aside, farmers from around the country are converging here in Baltic, South Dakota for the Ag PhD Field Day, which has become probably the largest one-day field day in the entire country. Joining me to visit about that is Darren Hefty. Is that safe to say it's the largest?
I think it's safe to say, Michelle. Yeah, we're really excited. And to get all these great farmers from all over the country and really from all over the world coming to South Dakota to see agriculture, that's pretty fun.
Why do they come from so far to South Dakota?
One of the tough things about farming is that we all feel competitive with each other, and a lot of farmers aren't sharing information with one another. So here's a place where there's open sharing with really a lot of high yield growers, world record growers in corn, soybeans, wheat, and barley. You can ask them anything and they'll tell you, oh, this is exactly what I'm doing at planting. This is exactly what I'm doing in crop. And you can see their programs just laid out with, well, here's what I would do right on this ground in South Dakota, because they are managing plots here. And that's the fun part, I think, is just that interaction with other farmers.
Did you imagine, you, Brian, and your dad, Ron, that 20 years ago when you kind of started this, it was going to grow into the franchise that it has?
No. No, I'd be crazy if I said I did. I'm amazed at what the last 20 years have done, and it's really just come from being open with other farmers, that here's what we did that worked, but here's what we did that was a mistake. And that's been the thing that most people will talk to us about. Man, you guys are real, because not only do you show us, well, this worked out great, you also say, okay, we did this and it didn't work at all for us.
And you are hitting some milestones this year, aren't you?
Well, 20 years of Ag PhD TV is big. 5 years of Ag PhD radio on Sirius XM. Yeah, it's humbling.
If you had one thing that you hope farmers left from the field day with, what would it be?
Well, I hope a hunger and a desire to learn more about their own crops and their own soils to do better. When they see farmers from lots of different environments succeeding and being willing to make changes, I think that's the important thing. But we hope to encourage farmers that, hey, there are some other things out here and they might work for you too.
Congratulations on the success with the field day and with the business.
Thank you so much for being here.
So why do more than 10,000 farmers from around the globe converge here every year at the Ag PhD Field Day? Michael Pates caught up with some of the attendees to find out.
Michelle, we talked to a couple of gentlemen from Maryland who came to their first Ag PhD Field Day this year.
We've been watching it on TV for years and watch it every week. And the field day seemed like something to come and look at.
What is it about it that makes you so interested in it? Is it because they're farmers or?
Farmers, and they got the new latest and greatest chemicals and equipment and everything and techniques to use.
We're all looking for the newest and latest in the precision equipment and the different types of planters and harvesting equipment. I mean, you can't know too much when you're in front of a customer.
And you don't have anybody in your family or anybody you had to convince that, this was a good idea to come out here for this.
Now the wife's glad to get rid of me for a day or two.
So agriculture is a universal language across the nation and even the world. Michelle?
Thanks, Mikkel. Coming up next on Ag Week TV, we'll have more from the Ag PhD Field Day here in Baltic, South Dakota. And we'll talk to world record yield winners and have this week's market analysis.
Superior Grain Equipment offers storage and drying solutions designed for your grain handling needs. Mixed flow grain dryers from Superior offer even heating to reduce heat stress cracking, so you get higher quality grain, higher test weights, and better prices. Plus, they use half the energy of conventional screen dryers. Experience cost savings and superior grain conditioning. Make the superior choice today with Superior Grain Equipment.
I'm 120, 130, 130, 55, once around the block, 212 miles right here, now half and time's up. So
if you're thinking about selling a piece of land, or you're looking to sell some farm equipment, or if you're thinking about a retirement or involved in an estate, give us a call. We'll sit down and tell you all about the Steffes way. We think it's a good way. That's how we approach it. If any of those are in your plans, give us a call or go to steffesgroup.com. Learn all about us. Hope to hear from you.
There's something for everyone at Dakota Fest, August 21st, 22nd, and 23rd in Mitchell, South Dakota, featuring over 500 suppliers, education sessions from SCSU Extension, and don't miss Chad Greenway speak on Tuesday. Plus, pig races are back at the all-new Farm Bureau Financial Services Rural Lifestyle Pavilion. For discounted admission and to download the show app, visit dakotafest.com today. Dakota Fest is sponsored by South Dakota State University Extension, Farm Credit Services of America, and Farm Bureau Financial Services.
Advanced Grain Handling is your regional dealer for grain handler dryers, bins, and accessories. With Grain Handler's continuous mixed flow drying systems, you're capable of high levels of grain dryer efficiency on all types of grain, including seed grain. Advanced Grain Handling also carries West Steel's quality stainless steel products for on-farm and commercial grain storage solutions. Advanced Grain Handling has licensed and trained service techs and a licensed electrical shop. Get a hold of Chad Kylo to find the perfect solution for your farm.
Farmers come from across the country here to the Ag PhD Field Day to learn from the best growers in the world in the quest to push their own yields on their farm. We talked to some of the record yield winners about their secrets to success.
It's when they say a total system, it is. I mean, it starts as soon as we harvest the corn. You know, we're prepping, spreading manure, working our corn stalks, because the funny thing is we're corn on corn. So, you know, we got to prep that seed bed as good as we can, handle a lot of residue, try to get that broke down, and then, you know, it's from our in-furl fertilizer to our 2x2x2 on both sides of the plant, and pulling tissue samples and plant health. I mean, there's no one thing that we found to give us that yield.
One of the things that we've had great strides for is we try to manipulate the crop, whether it's dry land or irrigated. When weather is good, we want to get the girth of the ear as big around as we can. We realize there are certain things we can do to influence that. Then how to make the ear longer. There's certain things that influence that. And just like plant health, like we all want to be healthy, if we can keep the crop healthy and green as long as possible, it's allowing that crop to put as much energy into the offspring or the seeds as possible.
To get a yield like that, you've got to plan several years in advance. You've got to get your soils right, not only your fertilisers, but your health of your soils. You've got to visualise what you're going to be doing for that record season.
It all come together, kind of different strategies, good spacing, lower populations, use of biologicals and understanding the use of those really made things really turn in my direction.
Look at plant population. I think that is crucial, and growth regulators, and also perhaps trace elements as well. But just to get everything right is crucial, I think, to try and get the yield up.
This week's crop condition ratings show U.S. farmers are on their way to producing some high-yielding crops again this year. Corn was rated 72% good to excellent, steady with the previous week, and 10% above 2017. U.S. soybeans were rated 70% good to excellent, up 1% for the week and 13% higher than last year. And spring wheat conditions were down 1%, but still historically high. With these high spring wheat ratings, the potential for this year's crop is higher than in 2017. That was the expectation this week as the Wheat Quality Council Tour surveyed fields in their annual tour across the Dakotas and Minnesota. Participants started in Castleton with a training session to learn about fusarium head blight and how to estimate yield. 55 people traveled 8 routes, stopping about every 10 miles to check fields. Dave Green with the Wheat Quality Council says the crop is projected to be above last year.
The crop ratings are as high as they've probably ever been. The government has already estimated the crop here as a tying a record production crop. So this is a big crop and it apparently is well thought of.
The tour includes reps from milling, grain, and seed companies as well as bakers. Green says it's important they get out into the fields to see the quality. Joining us is Steve Freed with this week's market analysis, and of course the big news was this trade compensation package. And talk about what this is going to mean for the soybean market.
Well, I think that the market was concerned that farmers were losing so much money because of the drop in price, and I think the first thing it suggests that U.S. is in this for the long haul, and that they're making this compensation to the farmers. Secondly, we would assume that the farmers will probably reduce some of their marketing and use this money maybe to pay off debt. And so it kind of helps the farmer income versus what we were expecting before this aid package.
What are you expecting the payments are going to look like?
The rumor right now is somewhere between $1.10 and $1.50 per bushel for the 2018 crop. So I'm not exactly sure how they're going to do this, but you know, the CCC has $30 billion worth of money to use in this type of thing, so they really don't need congressional approval. So we just kind of wait for the specifics as they come out.
The wheat market has been on a big rally. Most of this is on the European crop production being lowered, is that right?
Yeah, they came out and said their crop might be 130 million tons in Europe, wheat, and the USDA is using 145. So if you take stocks to usage ratio minus China, it's the tightest in 20 years. And this conversation has been going on for 2 weeks and the market really hasn't responded to that. The spring wheat tour came out a little bit lower on their first day of yields, and I think that the only thing the funds were still short was Minneapolis wheat. So when you're up 30 cents, it means more short covering than actually consumer buying. So I think 550 in nearby Chicago wheat is resistance. The same thing in Kansas City. The next price is 570. To get over those levels, we're going to have to see some new export demand come to the United States from buyers who might have bought from Europe or might have bought from Russia.
Is the corn market going to continue to follow wheat, and if so, how much of a rally can we get on that?
I think the market perceives that corn has made a bottom, and that it's partly because of the lower Russian crop, the lower Brazil crop, but we could see record exports out of the United States. The farmer's going to grow a big crop. I mean, right now the trade thinks we're going to have a 178 yield versus the USDA's 174, but I think the demand will absorb that crop, especially if the farmer decides to sell some of it, store some of it, and then see what happens down the road.
Well, thanks for joining us with your insights. Steve Freed joining us here, and for more market analysis and our extended conversation, go to agweek.com. Coming up after the break, we'll go back to the studio where Rose Dunn has a look at the changing faces of local agriculture.
And later on the Soil Health Minute, we'll learn about the common earthworms found in our region.
Micro-Essentials is a premium phosphate product. It's a dry granular product. The main difference with a Micro-Essentials type product is you have a homogeneous granule where the nitrogen, the sulfur, the phosphorus, and in this case the zinc is all in one granule. If you ever have a desire or a need to learn more about what does sulfur do within a soybean plant, what does the potassium do for the corn crop, we have microessentials.com. We also have a great resource, cropnutrition.com.
Mayo Manufacturing, your Red River Valley source for Badco. Mayo Manufacturing, your Red River Valley Badco dealer.
Get your row crops off to the right start with an early riser Case IH planter from Titan Machinery. Case IH early riser planters feature high-tech yet rugged planter row units that quickly adapt to the toughest seeding conditions, while leaving an optimal seed bed to promote early, uniform plant emergence. Only Case IH early riser planters are designed to leave a flat-bottom seed furrow, ensuring consistent seed depth and even emergence. Contact your local Titan Machinery location today for more information on the next generation of planting technology from Case IH.
Intelligent farming means more crop from every acre. That starts with smart machines and precision application. Introducing the new Rogator C-Series from Challenger, featuring a newer, smarter, more precise way to apply fertilizers and nutrients, more accurately and more efficiently than ever before, resulting in less overlap and less crop damage, all to make you more productive and more profitable. To find out more, contact Butler Machinery today.
The face of Upper Midwest agriculture is changing, literally. The people who work in ag in our region are increasingly diverse. But as Jonathan Knudsen found, many have to overcome great obstacles to get here.
One of the easiest ways for us that we knew used to come to the U.S. would be through education. So coming to the U.S. was really a big thing for me.
Jasper Thibault grew up on a subsistence farm in Cameroon in Central Africa. He came to America for his doctorate and a better life. Today he's a soil scientist at the NDSU Carrington Research Center.
The people have been quite warm. I've been very comfortable going everywhere in the state doing my work. The people I work with, very wonderful people. There's mutual respect. Very wonderful farmers I've met across the state.
Thibault and his family like the area and feel welcome.
I am happy where I'm working. This is a very safe state to live in.
I'm not concerned about how cold it is, but the length.
Paulo Flores is a precision ag specialist, also at the Carrington Research Center.
I was always interested in computers and always trying to use computers in agriculture. That's basically what's behind the precision ag.
His road from Brazil to North Dakota was challenging. He's one of 16 children in a family of sharecroppers. He left home at age 14 to continue his education against his father's wishes.
I was the only kid in my family with a college degree.
Paulo enjoys his work in precision ag, but he sometimes wonders if earning all his degrees in Brazil is a professional handicap.
A lot of people, when they look at my resume or my CV, and they see that I have all my degrees outside of the United States, a lot of them have second thoughts about if I'm really capable or qualified.
Flores isn't sure how long he and his family will stay in North Dakota, but for the Thibault family, this is home. For Ag Week, this is Jonathan Knudsen.
Jonathan will have more on this story in the upcoming Ag Week magazine and next week on AgweekTV. Much of the region got more rain this week. Here's John with our agri-weather outlook.
Weather portion for Ag Week now. It would be wrong to give summer up for dead just yet. We are getting a nice break, but the heat wave has been nasty down in the southern plains, parts of the southwest, and along the west coast. It's just a matter of the hot weather shifting around a little bit. Northern plains, upper Midwest, southern Canada, Great Lakes, it's been cool and except for a few areas of showers, mainly dry, and it's all due to high pressure ridging over the western part of North America, and that's not changing. Over the course of time, that ridge of high pressure broadens a little and then sharpens a little, which sends more heat north or less heat north and allows more west-east spatial coverage of that hot weather, and that's just kind of the way it's going to do, flipping around. But the weather is not going to be extraordinarily warm anytime this week in the Great Lakes area, back through the northern plains, most of the Corn Belt. There'll be some days in the 80s. It might touch on 90s somewhere, but a lot of this is going to be comfortable 70s and 80s for the week ahead. Not a lot of rain. Now, when I don't draw rain, that doesn't mean it won't rain at all. I'm just saying nothing particularly organized or widespread. Most of the stormy weather will be along the eastern seaboard. There might be one shot of significant rain through parts of the southern plains, but that's about the only one that I see. The west, of course, will remain quite dry. There's some evidence even of this coming weekend or into early next week of a round of rain southern Canada that would likely then drop down into the northern plains. Probably just around, could be some heavy rains come out of that. As far as the temperature regime across the country, the second week, August 5th through 11th, it's going to look about the same. Cool from Hudson Bay down through the Great Lakes. The hot weather mostly focused in Texas out through the western states. So no, summer is not dead. We're just getting a break. Heat wave will be back in some parts of the plains before the summer's over.
Ag Week is excited to bring you the Ag Week app with useful features and the latest news and information right at your fingertips. Get your Ag Week news, weather, and the latest episodes of AgweekTV. Plus, see real-time information on the futures market and view local cash bids for your crops. Stay updated and take Ag Week with you wherever you are. Download the Ag Week app today.
This is Dennis Belisky reminding you we do auctions and we do them well. You've built your operation with hard work, and when it's time to sell, all or part, you deserve the best. Details from repairs and preparation to promotion and settlements are not routine. Chances are you'll only do this once, so we'll tailor an auction just for you and get it done right. On-site at your farm or added to one of our highly successful Alaris Center auctions, we have the skill, reputation, and integrity to meet your needs with best-in-class commitment and quality service. Find us at resourceauction.com or call 701-757-4015.
DTE is your headquarters for flatbeds and service bodies for your truck. Whether you need to haul bales, heavy commercial equipment, or take every tool with you, DTE has the truck equipment you need. We have over 200 units on hand, or will custom build a flatbed or service body on your truck.
Like this Dewey's bale bed with dual lift cylinder arms. Lift, load, and handle your bales with ease.
When you need help at the farm, your business, or in the oil patch, count on DTE. DTE, let us build a truck for you.
Martinson Ag Risk Management offers a variety of crop marketing and crop insurance packages to our customers. With over 40 years of experience, our dedicated staff works hard to ensure you get the best advice on crop insurance, marketing, and risk management. Contact Randy or any of the staff at Martinson Ag Risk Management today at 701-205-4200 or visit us online at martinsonag.com.
Add more bushels to your hopper and money to your pocket by harnessing the power of air with Crary Wind Systems. Whether your beans are chest high or barely off the ground, Crary offers two solutions that add a constant stream of high-velocity air to quickly feed crop back to the auger, eliminating bunching, reducing shatter loss, and increasing your ground speed. Don't let crop conditions dictate your yield. Check out the Crary Air Reel or Crary Wind System today.
The Ag Week Soil Health Minute is sponsored by the North Dakota Corn Council and the North Dakota Soybean Council.
Earthworms are one indicator of a healthy soil. In this Soil Health Minute, Abby Wick shows us some of the most common earthworms found in the region.
Though there are over a dozen species of earthworms in our region, I want to show you the most common earthworm that you're going to find on the farm. That's the Aparactidia, which is also the gray garden worm. And these worms will move throughout the top 2 feet of the soil. They move laterally. Within those earthworm channels, you find really nutrient-dense areas where plant roots can take up nutrients and use them efficiently. So these guys are pretty important when it comes to soil health. Another earthworm that you might find while you're digging around for the Aparactidia are called Octalasian, and they're this blue-tinted worm. They're not as common, but they're something you might come across, and you'll see the difference in the color of the worms. You might also find night crawlers, and those are neat because they move down to 6 or 9 feet in the soil profile. That vertical movement is very different from the lateral movement of these most common worms found in the region. Another thing you might find in your soils that are a great indicator of soil health are the earthworm cocoons. So this is how earthworms reproduce, and you can see that these cocoons will hatch into small juvenile worms, which will grow and feed in the soil as well. So as you're changing management practices to build residue or diversifying rotations, get out there with a shovel and look for earthworms, because that's the best indicator of a healthy soil.
Ag Week is launching its first reader and viewer board. 7 people will be chosen to talk about issues facing the ag industry, suggest story ideas, and offer feedback on Ag Week magazine and AgweekTV. Members will start in August and serve through the end of 2018. The deadline to apply is July 30th. Ahead on AgweekTV, how a Fargo premium ingredients supplier is using the latest tech to expand its markets.
Total Total Ag Industries is the leader in total control. The future of ceramic nozzle technology is here today with the Total Ag Air Induction Turbo Nozzle, the only ceramic triple spray nozzle on the market. Works with all sprayers for better weed control and wheel tracks. Are you ready for a longer lasting sprayer nozzle? Call 701-636-4524 with a 100 nozzle order. Get free night lights or 10% off your order.
For over 40 years, Northside Implement has been your Gell and Vermeer dealer in Webster, South Dakota and Lidgerwood, North Dakota. With new equipment including feeding, grain handling, haying, and skid steer, as well as a nice selection of used equipment including sprayers, spreaders, seeding, as well as tractors and loaders. Northside Implement stands behind the equipment they sell with quality service guaranteed. See us for all your repairs and parts, from tillage to skid steer loaders to combines and everything in between. Contact Dave, Lydell, Tom, or Chris today at Northside Implement or visit our website for our complete equipment listing.
Luckin Trucks and Parts sells quality used parts for all makes and models. With over 50 acres of trucks and parts and new inventory arriving daily. Family owned and operated since 1966, Luckin's specializes in the sale of quality used medium to heavy duty truck parts as well as pre-owned trucks, trailers, and construction equipment. If it's on a truck, we got it. Call us today and let us get you your part.
There's something for everyone at Dakota Fest, August 21st, 22nd, and 23rd in Mitchell, South Dakota, featuring over 500 suppliers, education sessions from SCSU Extension, and don't miss Chad Greenway speak on Tuesday. Plus, pig races are back at the all-new Farm Bureau Financial Services Rural Lifestyle Pavilion. For discounted admission and to download the show app, visit dakotafest.com today. Dakota Fest is sponsored by South Dakota State University Extension, Farm Credit Services of America, and Farm Bureau Financial Services.
Where do you go for the latest news in agriculture? AgWeek magazine. Reaching over 70,000 farmers and ranchers in North Dakota, Minnesota, South Dakota, and Montana. AgWeek provides the most up-to-date information on the markets, the trends, and the people who make it all happen. We're your source for news, not fluff. Dependable, trusted. AgWeek. Subscribe today by calling 1-800-811-2580.
The AgweekTV Ag Tech Minute is brought to you by Bushel.
In this week's Ag Tech Minute, we see how a local supplier of premium ingredients is using tech to expand its markets and ensure safety and quality.
Anchor Ingredients is a super premium ingredient company processing ingredients for the food, pet food, and the feed markets domestically and abroad. Technology is core in absolutely everything that we do at Anchor Ingredients. When we look at differentiating ourselves from our competition, we know that technology has to be key in what we're doing. What our customers need is better visibility into that supply chain. We're in active development to roll out the industry's first scalable traceability solution to give our customers access and visibility into the supply chain of where their ingredients come from, how they were processed, and by whom they were touched. In order for us to stay ahead, we have to make life easier for our customers. We have to offer a stronger and better value proposition. And one of the key foundations for us to be able to do that is by implementing technology.
Thanks for watching this week's edition of AgweekTV. Remember, for all your ag news, go to agweek.com or download the AgWeek app. And be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter as well. We'll see you next week.